we'll call that the lead, and then the way this one is, it only turns the second compressor on automatically during our like juniors and stuff like that. We have separate programming for them, so it'll turn the second one on when it's in the junior stuff, but otherwise this place can usually run, except in really warm stuff, on just one.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Follow all the red and they all merge together and head right out here, I see, hey?
Yep. Yeah, we can actually go.
Oh, I see, and here we are.
And then there's the fire box, and that's got an emergency stop in it, and it also has an emergency release valve in it, so you could blow off the ammonia charge. Again, from Fernie, because they didn't know what happened, and we had a fire department volunteers that weren't well versed in what's going on in these things, so they just assumed they had to release the charge, so they kept releasing it. That's why they ended up evacuating the core of Fernie, because of ammonia. In hindsight, they didn't have to do it, and new codes are actually not requiring you to have the emergency release. There's so many safeties involved in these things. I can't even fathom what would cause me to have to open that anyways. So, yeah. Like back in the old days, it was just the easiest way to get rid of it when there was a problem. Alright, so we're out here in the arena right now. Sorry, I have my mask on. But this wooden decking here is the protection for our header trench that supplies cold brine out to the slab, captures that heat energy from the building, brings it back in with the warmed up brine and into the plant. So underneath this slab, we will have brine lines supplying out in return, roughly 4 inches on center. This arena, unlike Nelson, does not have subfloor heating. So the arena in Nelson and other arenas that are typically longer ice seasons, this one is 6-month ice season usually. In 8, 10, 12 months ice seasons, they'll have to have heating underneath the cooling floor so that they don't create a big iceberg below. But because we only have ice in here for approximately 6 months, you don't have a huge buildup of ice on the subfloor, so we don't need that here.
Well, we're talking about the ice layers. I've mentioned, or I've talked to you a bit about it, but could you tell the class what the layers are approximately, or the process?
Yep. So when we make our ice, this arena has a concrete floor, and we will start sealing that with droplets of ice or water, much in the same you would see pebbling on a curling rink. And once we get the cement sealed in where we're comfortable that there's enough ice built up on it, then we start to add thin layers of water to it to keep building up the ice. And every floor is different. This slab isn't quite as level as the one that they have in Nelson, so we have to carry a little bit more ice. Probably Nelson, I would have carried maybe at the most a 1/4 inch ice before I painted the colors. Here we're about 3/8 to 1/2 inch of ice, and then once we get there, we'll paint the white ice down, then we seal that in with droplets again, and then we'll paint our circles, our lines, install our logos, and then once all that's done, then seal that in, and when we're comfortable that we've got enough ice built over that, then we can start laying layers of water down, and we build up to about 1.5 inches ice from concrete up to the top.
Oh, wow. So that's painted white. Wow.
Yeah, correct, yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so the brine header is under here in the, underneath the wooden slats.
Yep.
Heads out under the ice and returns back to the compressor room. Awesome, thank you. Here at the Castlegar Arena, there is their snow pit. So there's Zamboni, cleans the ice and dumps any excess snow over here behind the parking lot for maintenance. In Nelson, they have a snow pit where they run their warmed glycol that has been heated from one of their steam lines in a heat exchanger called the de-superheater, and they dump their snow in that, and the coil of warm glycol melts the snow.